From the Oklahoma studios in Oklahoma City, this is an OU football update. I'm Barry Trammell. This is OU writer Jason Kersey, and we have a Shakespearean plot in Saturday's game in Norman. Oklahoma, Texas Tech. The Sooners are quarterbacked by Baker Mayfield, who has now quarterbacked almost as many games for the Sooners as he's quarterbacked for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Mayfield, 7 games as the Tech starter back in 2013. This is a plot that just drips with intrigue, Jason.
Yeah, it really does. He was a the first true freshman walk-on to start a season opener at a Power 5 conference school back in 2013 when he started against SMU. Played really well in that game. Played pretty well for most of the year. Was the Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year. Had some injury problems. Davis Webb got to play some, and then that's kind of where the agreement between the two sides about what happened parts. And all we know is Baker Mayfield left in December before the bowl game, wound up at OU at a time when it was nonsense to show up at OU as a quarterback and expect to play. And here we are. He's starting against Texas Tech 2 years later.
Well, yeah, I mean, Trevor Knight's the Sugar Bowl hero, had taken down Alabama when Baker Mayfield arrives, but he's proven to be an excellent quarterback. He's exceeded all expectations on quality of quarterback play. What do you think was the genesis? Do we know what the genesis was between the disagreement at Lubbock? I mean, how could Texas Tech, we've seen Baker Mayfield, what a quality quarterback he is. How could you let a guy off your campus?
Well, I think that, according to Baker Mayfield and Cliff Kingsbury, I think one thing they kind of agree on is that Baker Mayfield felt like he'd earned the job and didn't feel like he needed to compete for it to start in the bowl game. And Cliff Kingsbury wanted them to compete. And at that point, the communication sort of fell through between them, and Baker Mayfield decided to leave. So, but I think today the situation has kind of worked out for everybody. Baker Mayfield's happy at OU. He's starting. He's playing, doing really well. And then Texas Tech has Patrick Mahomes, who's one of the better young quarterbacks in the Big 12. So I think it's kind of all worked out at this point.
It has worked out. However, Baker Mayfield, we know, is an emotional football player. He's not the typical quarterback in terms of reserved, and Bob Stoops talked about it on Monday, saying, he's had to tell his quarterbacks, everybody else can be rah-rah, you stay cool. Baker Mayfield, we know his emotions are going to bubble up on Saturday. How does he keep himself contained and play within himself?
Well, he said he was just going to try to block out the outside noise. I assume that means not listening to us. But, I just don't think there's any way to pretend like this is just another game. And that's what he said at the very beginning of the press conference, that it was just another game. And then I followed that up by saying, come on. And he said, well, it is a big deal, but I have to treat it like another game. But I think that's really easier said than done. At the same time, I think Texas Tech's defense has proven it's not a great defense. Baker Mayfield should be able to score points in this game.
Well, it's going to be interesting with Baker Mayfield against his old pals from Lubbock on Saturday in Norman. Stay tuned for further OU football coverage here on News OK and every day in the Oklahoman.